Are you looking for the best 65-inch TVs? In this video we will look at some of the best 65-inch TVs. Before we get started with our video, we have included links in the description. So make sure you check those out to see which one is in your budget range. Number 1. Samsung QN65S90XR90. The best 65-inch TV we've tested is the Samsung QN65S90XR90, commonly known as the S90C. It's an impressive TV that delivers fantastic picture quality and looks amazing with any content. Its QD-OLED panel provides a perfect contrast ratio, with no distracting blooming around bright objects, and its colors are incredibly vibrant and realistic. It gets extremely bright, so highlights in HDR stand out well, and with its fantastic reflection handling, it can easily overcome glare in a bright room. Unfortunately, it doesn't support Dolby Vision HDR, it instead supports HDR10+, a similar, albeit not as widespread, HDR format. Otherwise, it's a fantastic TV with a great selection of extra features. It supports Bixby and Amazon's Alexa voice assistants, and its Tizen operating system is fast and easy to use. It's a fantastic TV for console gamers looking to get the most out of their Xbox Series X or PS5. It's also perfect for gamers wanting to take advantage of their recent PC GPU, as it supports 4K at 144Hz gaming on all 4 HDMI ports and variable refresh rate (VRR) technology to help reduce screen tearing. The 2024 Samsung S90D/S90DD OLED is also available. It does a better job smoothing out low-quality content and gets brighter in HDR, but it's also currently a lot more expensive. Unless you really want the small upgrades it offers, you're better off buying the cheaper S90C while it's still available. It's worth mentioning that Samsung's 2024 OLED lineup is confusing, as they've released S90DS with both WOLED and QD-OLED panels, depending on the region and size. You can read more about this here. Number 2. Sony XR-65A95L. Although it's more expensive than the Samsung S90C OLED, if you want the best possible home theater experience, the Sony XR-65A95L is the best 65-inch TV you can get. While it uses a QD-OLED panel like the Samsung model, it has much better image processing, and its colors and brightness are more accurate overall, so it displays content the way its creator intended. It also supports Dolby Vision HDR, a more widely used dynamic HDR format than Samsung's HDR10+. If you like to play games, it's also a fantastic gaming TV with HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on 2 of its HDMI ports, VRR support, and very low input lag, even though it's a bit higher than on the Samsung. Unfortunately, one of its HDMI 2.1 ports is also the eARC port, so you'll need to work around that if you have multiple HDMI 2.1 devices. If you want to enhance your home theater setup with a surround sound system, you'll also be happy to know it supports audio pass-through for all common formats. It runs the Google TV interface with a sleek look and an easy-to-use menu. It has a massive selection of streaming apps, and the TV's built-in mic supports hands-free voice control, so you can easily find your favorite streaming shows, even when you can't find the remote. Lifelike picture of the intelligent and powerful cognitive processor XR delivers a picture with wide dynamic contrast, detailed blacks, natural colors, and high peak brightness, replicating how we see the real world. Pure black paired with our best color thanks to QD-OLED and XR Triluminos Max, experience our widest palette of shades and hues equally matched by pure OLED black and high brightness. Number 3. Sony K-65XR90. The Sony K-65XR90 is the best 65-inch TV for bright rooms. Its superb reflection handling and SDR brightness mean it easily overcomes glare in the brightest of rooms, so you aren't distracted by reflections on your TV screen. As impressive as this TV is in a bright room, it also looks great in a dark room. Although it doesn't display the same perfect, inky blacks as an OLED like the Sony A95L OLED, it still has exceptional contrast for an LED TV and delivers very deep blacks with almost no blooming. It's also a great option for 4K Blu-ray collectors or those looking to get the most out of high-quality streaming services due to its support for Dolby Vision and DTS audio formats. The TV's image processing is excellent for upscaling and smoothing out low-quality content. It's also very accurate in both SDR and HDR, so it delivers an image that respects the content creator's intent. Unfortunately, its viewing angle is mediocre, so it's not the best option if you regularly watch shows or movies with a big group of friends. However, it's a great option if you need a TV that pairs well with modern consoles. It has HDMI 2.1 bandwidth on 2 ports, up to 4K at 120Hz, and it supports VRR, so it's fully compatible with modern consoles. On top of those features, the TV has a quick response time for minimal blur behind fast motion, and it has low input lag for a responsive gaming experience. Number 4. LG OLED 65C3PUA. If you want a good home entertainment OLED but don't want to get the expensive Sony A95L OLED, check out one of the best upper mid-range TVs we've tested, the LG OLED 65C3PUA. It's a premium TV with perfect blacks that delivers stunning picture quality, especially in dark rooms, and thanks to its near-infinite contrast ratio, there's no blooming around bright objects. Its reflection handling is incredible, and it gets bright enough to fight glare in moderately lit rooms, but it's not bright enough to overcome glare in a well-lit room. Its OLED panel isn't as bright or colorful as the QD OLED panel in the Samsung S90C OLED. However, the LG TV partly makes up for it by being more versatile, as it has better image processing, Dolby Vision HDR support, Dolby Vision gaming at 120Hz, and can pass through advanced DTS audio formats. It's also a great TV for gamers, supporting all variable refresh rate (VRR) technologies for a nearly tear-free gaming experience from any VRR-enabled source. Its 4 HDMI ports have HDMI 2.1 bandwidth for 4K at 120Hz gaming from a recent console or gaming PC. Ultimately, you can't beat an OLED if you use your TV mostly in a darkroom. The 2024 LG C4 OLED is also available. It has minor upgrades, like better HDR accuracy and slightly better HDR brightness, and it supports up to 4K at 144Hz for PC gamers with high-end rigs. Unfortunately, it's still quite expensive. Unless you're a gamer with a powerful PC, your money is better spent on the cheaper C3 OLED while it's still available and on sale. Number 5. LG OLED 65B3PUA. If you want something cheaper but still want high-end features and great performance, a mid-range TV like the LG OLED 65B3PUA, otherwise known as the LG B3 OLED, is an excellent choice. It's a great mid-range TV and can be an excellent entry point into the OLED market. The TV has all the features of the more expensive LG C3 OLED, but the B3 is dimmer and has only 2 HDMI 2.1 bandwidth ports. It still delivers outstanding picture quality, especially in a dark room, with its near-infinite contrast ratio delivering deep, inky blacks with no distracting blooming. Like the C3, it supports Dolby Vision HDR and DTS advanced audio formats, which is great. Its viewing angle is fantastic, so viewers can watch the TV from all over the room without degrading their viewing experience. Like the C3, this TV has a wide color gamut, so it delivers vibrant and lifelike colors. It's also great for gaming, as it's compatible with every VRR technology, has a fantastic response time, and has an extremely low input lag. Its 2 HDMI 2.1 ports have up to 4K at 120Hz support, although, unfortunately, one of its HDMI 2.1 ports also doubles as the TV's eARC port, leaving you with only one high-speed port if you have a soundbar connected through eARC. 2024's LG B4 OLED is also available. It has improvements like better overall brightness and HDR gradient handling, and LG has increased the number of HDMI 2.1 bandwidth ports to 4. Unfortunately, it's currently very expensive, so unless you want those upgrades, you're better off getting the B3 while it's on sale. If you want those upgrades, you can also currently find the C3 for less than the cost of a B4.